So in this video today, I wanted to talk about one of the main reasons of why I chose a medical device sales career. So obviously one of the things you all hear about all the time is that you can make very good money in this career. I didn't grow up with a lot of money, so I wanted to do things and maybe get a job that I could that would put me in a good position to maybe lead a great lifestyle in the future. And I stumbled upon this for that reason at first and then realized that it was so much more. A lot of people think that this job is easy. You just show up, schmooze doctors, get some free lunches, and collect a big paycheck, and that's really just not the case. No 2 days are the same. Something always goes haywire in the operating room. Something unexpected pops up. A surgeon needs a different size implant that you didn't see coming, and a case gets added on at 5 p.m. when you're already running on empty. So the deadlines for this can be absolutely brutal. You could be juggling multiple surgeries, multiple hospitals, tracking inventory, making sure that everything is sterile and accounted for at each facility, and being on call for emergencies at the exact same time. If you're after an easy job, this definitely is not going to be it. The hours are extremely long, the pressure is definitely real, and you can be working from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. pretty consistently along with weekends. So you're on your feet for a lot of the hours. You can't bail even if you're exhausted because a patient surgery depends on you being there, and you're constantly managing the stress of any high stakes situation where everything has to be perfect. So you can't cancel on any of these doctors because they're counting on you to show up. And you're always dealing with the pressure of being the go-to person that everybody relies on. Sometimes standing in the operating room for hours, bouncing between multiple hospitals, all that kind of stuff, and driving around, meeting physicians back to back, driving all over the territory. I think about easier schedules, not because I don't love what I do, but because the physical and mental load is intense. So you're keeping surgeons with sky-high expectations happy, fighting off other reps who want to poach your accounts, and dealing with hospital admin and purchasing departments a lot of the time. So trying to stay on top of all of that, it's hard. But even so, I stay a medical device rep because there's something that a lot of people miss out on, and once you see it, it's amazing. And once you get into it, it's amazing. So the real reason why I love this job is the career and the ability to run the territory like it's my own business, and actually see how my work changes the patient lives. So unlike regular sales jobs, you're not really pushing products so much for no reason. So in medical device sales, you're there in the operating room a lot of times, or even outside, but still responsible for a large part of patient care. So you see someone who's been in constant pain for their whole lives get relief, and you know exactly what they need and you have it ready to go. So unlike other sales jobs, what happens in medical device sales, you actually get real feedback on how you're helping people, and that's very important. So you're gonna hear from doctors and patients who are doing way better because of equipment that you brought in, and you see doctors successfully treat conditions because you've got them the right solution at that right time. Most people completely miss really how powerful that is. So when I was working as an athletic trainer before I jumped into med device, I loved helping athletes recover and get back to playing, but there's really always a ceiling to what I could do because I was working inside somebody else's system, following their rules, and my own career growth is pretty much stagnant with that. In medical device sales, really everything can flip. So once you see this, there really is no ceiling to it. You can build relationships with physicians and partners who trust you, and map out your territory and focus on accounts that'll really drive the biggest wins for you personally and the patient. So you can adjust your approach for any kind of doctor style, technique, and becoming the rep they specifically ask for when they've got cases scheduled. You can solve real problems that will directly lead to these patients' outcomes, right? Because that is a very rewarding part, and it is the most rewarding part for me. And you can make a good, paycheck doing it. So it's possible to start from zero and a few years later, wake up as a successful territory manager and all of that. So that's what I started out as, just a regular territory manager, built the ropes, learned the product, all of that kind of thing. So if you are willing to put the work in, I'm a living, breathing example of that, of, anybody can really do it. Before I keep going with this, I did just want to talk about something that I'm really passionate about that we did put out. So I did start as the instructor for the Course Careers Medical Device Sales Coach, and I created that because I remembered how tough it was to break into the industry not really knowing anybody. I learned about medical device sales through YouTube, created this YouTube channel just really for the reason of trying to help people the best way that I could. So this is the best thing that's going to be making you job ready. You'll build up a knowledge of anatomy, all of those kind of things, and you'll learn the full sales process from cold outreach to closing the deals to actually getting meetings with physicians, and you'll learn etiquette and what to look out for sterile technique, all that stuff, medical terminology, device classifications, all of that. So you'll even connect directly with partnering companies that are hiring, which is huge because you're going to be getting your foot in the door, which is usually the hardest part. So I did also want to say it's possible for beginners to land jobs in med sales without a degree or experience. I've seen it multiple times. If you follow the system and really just don't give up, you can land that position that does change your life. And then right now, there's even that free intro course that you can take right now just to see if it's even a fit. And that'll be free for you. So one thing I've learned also is there's a big difference between being a good rep and a great rep. Good reps show up on time, bring the right products, and respond when the surgeon asks for something. And honestly, that is enough to keep your job and hang on to the accounts, but great reps are the ones who become essential because they're on a totally different level, you know? So they are prepared, they have attention to detail, they go way above beyond what is expected. The best reps in the industry study the surgeon preferences. They know which implant size the surgeon likes at all times. They understand the technique well enough to know what's coming in the next procedure. And they build good relationships in the operating room with that kind of, knowledge. So nurses and scrub techs can definitely make or break your day. They know the circulating nurses by name. They understand all of these kind of things. And then, you need to respect everybody in that room. Show up early, just not, on time. Check everything is where it needs to be. The worst feeling in the world is realizing that something's messed up mid-surgery. They show up prepared, not just winging it, to make sure that everything's handled. Because before problems pop up, the worst feeling in the world is getting a call from a doctor saying that something is missing or went wrong, and they make themselves the go-to person who sees what's needed before anyone asks. They solve the problems before they come up, I will say. And it makes everybody's job easier when you do that extra layer and have that extra time. So that when the surgeon starts and surgery starts, you can just react easily and know that everything is done. But the reps who build insane reputations and move up the fastest, they always go that extra mile because they are thinking 10 steps ahead. So when there's any kind of unexpected bump in the road, the great reps already see that coming. So the kind of focus and things that build trust over time, those small moments of being prepared and locked in will give you that serious reputation. So doctors begin asking for you by name when they need support. They trust you in ways that they don't other reps, and that trust turns directly into growth and moving up, because that's the best part of medical sales. That's what fires me up is growing up and having that success and be willing to get a result for whatever effort that you're putting in. So you're not really just stuck waiting on a promotion. It is really just tied to the business and the service that you provide. And you have to prove you're more valuable than everybody else. So you can move up in this career like that. So the results is really motivating if people are willing to, knuckle down and do all that to get that. So by the way, I'll be putting out lots more content to help people get into medical device sales. This is really only the beginning of this. So you can really just get a gist of what the career is like. We'll cover everything from interview tips to day in the life, advice on networking with surgeons, and landing the first role. So if you're interested in all of that in medical device sales and you're trying to get into the industry, definitely just subscribe down below or leave a like on this video if this has helped you out really in any way possible. So one thing I love about medical sales is that you're never done learning and growing. So right now I'm focused on building my own business, building up course careers, and building up this YouTube channel. And there's certain hospital systems where you're barely in the door and you got to figure out ways in order to get in the door. I like that because you never have everything, so to speak. So, I'm just really excited to just share what I've learned in, this industry that has helped me out so much. For those of you that are already in medical sales, what's your main reason for sticking with it? I would love to know that down in the comments down there below. What do you like most? What has kept you in it for so long? Or is it something different that's kept you going rather than anything that I have even brought up? So let me know, because I always want to know what drives people into this field and gives them, the best impact. I love that I can wake up every day knowing the work that I do actually helps people, and I've got tons of freedom to set up things however they want. Not many careers give you that combo. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more medical device sales content. I've got a lot of things coming up the way. The course careers link is going to be down in the description below if you want to check it out, and we will get back to you next time.